Hey guys, welcome back to Fight Edge channel. Roy Jones Jr. warns Jake Paul about Mike Tyson's punching power. One blow to the jaw and the game is over. Jones Jr. faced Tyson in an exhibition fight in 2020 in Carson, California. Jake Paul has left a good impression in his role as a boxer. In his short career, the influencer has a 9-1 record. However, his next opponent is none other than Mike Tyson. And according to former boxer Roy Jones Jr., Iron Mike could be more than Jake Paul can handle. Jones, champion in 4 different weight divisions, was Tyson's most recent rival, officially retired in 2017. Jones Jr. returned to the ring to face Tyson in an 8-round exhibition fight 4 years ago. Although the fight was declared a draw, Jones Jr. was able to see firsthand that Tyson still retained the punching power that led him to rack up 10 successful defenses of his World Heavyweight Championship. Following his experience with Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. issued a warning to Jake Paul. If he hits anybody square on the chin, it's going to be problematic. I don't care who it is. Tyson still hates like he did in his best days. In conversation with the Lunch Club, Roy Jones Jr. recalled that the Tyson-Paul fight would no longer be an exhibition and would be sanctioned as a real fight. If it's a fight, it's very interesting how it may turn out, noted the former champion. He admitted that Paul has improved with each fight, but Mike Tyson, even at 58 or however old he is still Mike Tyson. When I boxed him, he still punched like Mike Tyson. Jones also warned. If Mike comes out and does what Mike normally does, then it's going to be a tough situation for Jake Paul. Jake Paul, good boxer, Jones admitted. He is a good guy and he is doing good with his boxing stuff. I think it's a good promotional situation for him and Mike Tyson. They should go really good numbers, especially having upgraded to a real fight. Finally, he considered that there is still hope for Jake Paul. If Jake can stay away from him for 4 or 5 rounds, then Jake has a chance, but he's going to have to do a lot of maneuvering to stay away from him. Jake Paul knows what he is getting into. On an episode of his podcast, Jake Paul admitted that he may have bitten off more than he can chew. This is definitely the toughest, most savage, lethal opponent regardless of age because the power is the last thing to go, he accepted. However, he agreed with Jones Jr. by pointing out that the attention the fight is generating is almost incredible, and he said he feels grateful for the reception it has had from the public. Tyson and Jake Paul will meet on July 20th at AT&T Stadium in Arlington. In yet another twist, that so-called influencer boxing has brought Netflix will stream the fight exclusively. Confused about the rules of the fight, Roy Jones Jr. thought that the fight would have big gloves and headgear. However, he alleged that these rules were put in place to protect Jake Paul. Why they put on 16-ounce gloves and headgear? They didn't put that on to protect Mike, they put that on to protect Jake Paul, said Jones Jr. Later in the interview, Roy Jones claimed, I don't think Jake Paul is good enough to hurt Mike Tyson. He thinks Paul could have been able to hurt Mike if the fight had 10-ounce gloves, but even then, if they had on 10-ounce gloves, Mike might hurt him, said Jones. That being said, here is what Mike said about the fight. Thanks for watching guys, if you like this video please subscribe to my YouTube channel.